All right, what's up? Jason here. And for those of you running SMMAs, SaaS agencies, this is another video for you to help you maximize the amount of sales that you're making. Also, just allow you to take a hard look at the way you're structuring your business. More importantly, the way you're structuring your services, products that you're offering businesses, clients, and be able to match them up to ultimately the things clients care about, ultimately the things businesses care about. And that's where this client results tier comes in. Okay, I did a little short, I think it was yesterday, talking about, businesses, I'll just refer to them as clients. Clients, ultimately when you're interacting with them, they're going to tell you all kinds of things that they want, right? They may say they want a website. You might see businesses talking about, hey, I want a website, or hey, I'm looking for someone to post content on my social media pages, or do videos for me, all this stuff. In the end, what a business is saying, the translation is, anytime they tell you whatever it is, doesn't matter, hey, I want a new website, the translation is, hey, I think by having a new website, that's going to allow me to get more customers. That's exactly what the translation is. Anything that they tell you is ultimately, the underlying meaning is, hey, I think this is the thing that's going to help me get more customers and sales. And so when you understand that, it'll allow you to position yourself, position your services, your products to match up ultimately with the result that they want. But not all services are created equal, right? Not all services that we can offer are created equal, okay? So let's talk really quick about the client results tier, and all this will make sense, all right? So the client results tier is exactly what ultimately a client will care about. Again, we're talking businesses. I typically work with local businesses, so do SMMAs, so do SaaS agencies. We'll focus a lot on the local business space, although they can have other clients. But this is what I'm referring to, and I'm talking to your average local business, right? This is what they care about, okay? At the lowest level, the lowest tier, if you will, leads, okay? We may call them, prospects. Depending on the niche that you're working in, they may say leads, they may use the word prospects, they may use the word referrals. And just, as a side note, this is the kind of words I typically use. I typically either say prospects or referrals. I never say leads unless I'm talking with a niche like realtors or something that specifically talks the language of leads. A lot of businesses, when they hear the word leads, they associate scammy or spammy type things. But most niches, most businesses, when they hear the word referrals or prospects, their ears perk up and like, yeah, I want more of those, right? So again, all boils down to understanding how to talk to your clientele, your prospect, or your niche. But ultimately, the lowest tier is actually generating a brand new lead, prospect, referral for a business, okay? The second tier is actually generating an appointment. Now, depending on the niche, depending on what we're doing, this may or may not be here, but an appointment is always above a lead, right? Case in point, if I generate for a dentist, let's say I'm working with a dentist, and I get them a new lead off of an ad that I'm running, whatever it is, I create a new lead for them. Great, awesome. They have a lead, which is a person that is potentially interested in their services. They provided a name, an email, a phone number, maybe some other supporting information. But ultimately, that's all they are. They're just information, okay? They're just information for the business. Now, the business needs to follow up with them, communicate with them, or depending on what you're doing, your process needs to communicate with them, follow up with them, because what is more powerful than just a name with email and phone number is actually literally someone on the calendar that's scheduled for an appointment, right? So let's just say, again, I generated a lead for a dentist. Well, that's cool, but actually having a person that is scheduled for tomorrow at 4 p.m. for a teeth whitening procedure is way more powerful. It's higher on the results tier than just a lead. Okay, does that make sense? Now, the top tier is what you would expect. It's a customer, a sale. So what's better than actually having an appointment? Literally someone who just paid the business money. So it's understanding that this is the hierarchy of results that I can provide a business. Now, again, I mentioned, depending on my niche, maybe it's a restaurant, right? Maybe there is no appointment or a reservation system. Maybe, I generate a lead and the next step is to get that lead to actually go into the restaurant and spend money. So again, depending on the niche, appointment may or may not exist, but for most local businesses that you work with, you're providing services for, again, in your SMMA, your SaaS agency, whatever it is, there's potentially appointments involved, okay? Now, understanding this is the key to understanding how to position your services or when to offer specific services. So for example, if we go back to the SMMA 2.0 model that I talked about in a previous video, it's here on the channel, you know that I offer message marketing, lead generation. Again, that may be Facebook ads, it may be Google ads, and SEO, okay? So if I am building out how I'm going to position myself, how I'm going to sell, right? All I really need to do is look at this client results tier, and I can become a better salesman. I can close more deals, okay? Because I know what they care about and what is more important on the hierarchy. So if I look through my services, okay, SEO is a long-term play. That can potentially generate any of these, okay? Because people are searching organic searches through SEO, meaning rankings, maybe, again, meaning I'm looking for a dentist. Hey, dentists in Dallas, okay? I may be exploring, or I may just I may be looking to book an appointment. So SEO typically is the highest converting types of, it's a highest converting type of marketing I can implement. It just takes a while. So it's never something I'm offering on the front end. It's typically going to be an upsell, but SEO can put people right into appointment mode, right into sale mode. Okay. So it's always going to be a powerful service. It's just something I need to save for the back end because it takes a while. I need a quick win. That's just the way I structure my business. I want a quick win up front. Okay. So SEO is not what I'm going to offer up front. Okay. So we'll just say, all right, SEO's not going to be something I'm going to consider up front. Okay. If we look at lead generation, right? Well, it's very self-explanatory what lead generation does for me. Lead generation puts the starting result that lead generation provides is down here on tier 1. Okay. So cool. It's in my top 3 because one of the things I didn't mention is there's other things down here like reviews, social media content on a page. All of these things can eventually get up into the top 3 tiers of results that clients want. And again, it goes back to understanding when they say they, review social media content, when they're saying these things, they actually think that they're going to produce the results up on this tier. Okay. But you'll notice these are below this top 3. I don't even include them in the hierarchy because these things don't directly lead, right? Bottom line is they're at the lowest form. It takes a lot of work to get one of these things down here to start producing these results. To get them from down here all the way to the top. Okay, so the closer, right? The closer my result is to the highest tier, the less work I have to do to make the client super happy. The quicker I get to a sale, right, the happier the client's going to be, and it allows me, again, more flexibility to offer more services. They're going to be happy. They're going to pay me forever. So going back to my services, lead generation starts me at the lead. Cool. Now I need to implement follow-up systems. Again, maybe that's why if I have a SaaS agency, this maybe is something that I'm selling that helps take leads, turns them into appointments and sales, or an SMMA. I generate leads and I have follow-up systems and whatnot. But ultimately, when I generate a lead, that's fine and dandy. But now I have to turn that lead into an appointment, and hopefully that appointment turns into a sale for lead generation. Okay. Now, when I offer my message marketing service, okay, what is that? So I talked about it a little bit on the overview, the SMMA 2.0 kind of overview video. I'll dive more into these services individually in later videos, but message marketing is sending out an email and a text. It's just email marketing and text marketing combined to a list of people that the business already provides. So when I do message marketing, right, I'm already getting a list of either leads or essentially a list of customers from the business, and I'm sending those people an offer via email and text. So the result I get from that already starts off at the appointment level, right? Because they're already leads. I'm not having to generate a lead out of fresh air, right? And so what happens is my result that I provide is already higher on the client result tier, and I really don't have to work that hard to get them to the sale, right? So as you can see, by understanding the client results tier, I can easily say, well, look, whenever I offer services, knowing my services are message marketing, lead generation, and SEO, knowing SEO takes a while. That's not going to be one of my front end offers. So my choice is between message marketing and lead generation. Knowing that message marketing starts off with a higher result on the client results tier, it's a no-brainer for me to offer message marketing first, which also, by the way, requires less setup than lead generation through social media ads or, Google ads or, internet search ads or any of that other stuff. I don't need a funnel on any of that stuff with message marketing. So knowing where the results start with message marketing, I'll start with message marketing, right? If this is my little ladder of services, I'll start with message marketing, generate the nice high tier results for them, make them happy, and then I can introduce my lead gen service, which also provides quick results. It just starts a little lower on the tiers, but it's okay because they're happy with my message marketing, right? Then I can implement my lead gen on top of that, and then I can ultimately offer my SEO because I'm getting results with my message marketing, my lead gen, and the SEO is going to take a while to work. That's fine. They're happy with my first couple services that they're willing to pay and wait for the SEO to kick in. But again, all of this I structured by understanding this results tier and knowing what ultimately clients want. It's going to allow me to close more deals, keep my client happy, and again, keep them paying longer. The SMMA 2.0 model is just hard to beat. Doesn't matter whether you're running SMMAs or SaaS agencies. Understanding this is going to be the key to closing more deals, keeping your clients happy, and making more money. All right. Hope you enjoyed this. Give me a like, give me a subscribe. I'm going to have way more videos coming that support this topic and keep you going on the journey of being able to build and grow a successful SMMA, if you will, or a successful agency, a successful business that gets paid by understanding what clients really want. All right. Cheers.